Where has he been all this time? I don't know. Working. Come on, give me a break. But I got a green screen. Look. Incredible. I can fucking put anything I want on here. Okay, now let's start a small intro now, because I got one of those. So, some people on the internet are just a little worried. Furry King Majira Strawberry is going to appear on the H3 podcast on March 1st.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Fuck.
Every night.
JK, no Majira on H3. There goes my entire script. I stayed up till 3 a.m. writing. Great. My original video was going to tackle the many arguments as to why Majira and Adam shouldn't appear on H3. That is the H3 podcast. At one point, I also mentioned the ramifications. I'm going off camera. At one point, I also mentioned the ramifications of Majira canceling. Well, guess that happened, but fuck it. I'm gonna say what I was gonna say anyways, because why not? I mean, I wrote it, so let's just jump into it. Now, in case you don't know who these guys are, wow, must be your first time on YouTube. Congratulations, it's a dumpster fire. All hail Susan Wojcicki. Majira Strawberry is one of, if not the most well-known content creators in the fandom, with 200,000 subscribers. That's a lot. Conversely, H3H3 is a brand run by Ethan and Gila Klein, two of the most influential creators on the entire platform. On top of their main channel, they also host a podcast. Recently, they sent out a notice expressing interest in having a furry on their show so that they can better understand the fandom and get a perspective on our community. Naturally, Ethan and Gila chose to have Majira Strawberry on their show. I mean, it makes sense. Dude's got a ton of subscribers, right? Along with Adam from Your Movie Sucks, another prominent YouTuber who happens to be a furry. Now, I can see why folks are a little hesitant to have Adam on. He's had his own controversy when he took a devil's advocate position for bestiality to highlight a larger trend and moral inconsistency towards the treatment of animals. That was a long sentence, I'm sorry. But it does provide ammunition to be used as a gotcha. But Majira, to my knowledge, the guy's resume is pretty clean. Now, I want to change the subject. Let's talk about crabs. No, not those kind of crabs. Stop. This is a bad thing. This is a very bad thing. Okay, hear me out. Furry Twitter is slowly turning into a bucket of crabs. What does that mean? Okay, so a bucket of crabs, it's a metaphor. For example, say you have a bucket of crabs. What are they trying to do? Get out. Of course. But how are they doing it? By grabbing one another and pulling one down so that they can get up, only to have another crab do the exact same. And what you get is this endless cycle of reaching up and pulling down, and no one ever makes it out of the bucket. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure and defeat, over and over again. How does this relate to this situation? Well, Majira was reaching for the edge of the bucket, and he got tore the fuck down. Some didn't think Majira was qualified. Some thought he was walking right into a trap. Some thought Adam was a bad choice for a co-guest. Some thought the fandom was being exposed to a transphobic and toxic audience. And some were just fucking jealous. I mean, yeah. I will be honest, okay? I'm not even sure where to start with this one. It is a messy boy. My opinion on H3 has fluctuated at times, I will admit. I was a great fan of his in the past. But after the podcast started, they began to go a bit downhill. I'm not a fan of some of the things Ethan has said. He's had his own trail of controversy, one that he has acknowledged admittedly. And I'm also not a big fan of some of his guests. There are things that I have supported Ethan for in the past. He provided heavy coverage of the Daddy-O5 scandal, and his recent court case was a major success for fair use rights on YouTube. But on the other hand, he jokes about transgender subjects. They're pretty insensitive, pretty stupid. And I can't say that I'm a big fan of having Daddy Jordan Peterson on the podcast, like really. But I'm not here to critique Ethan. His fan base, though, does consist of memers. It's, So what does that mean? It means that, yeah, Majira was kind of diving headfirst into a Shark Tank. By being on the show, he likely would have been made fun of. There's a chance that Ethan and Majira would have had a civil and inquisitive conversation about the fandom, but it's just as likely that it would have just devolved into jabbing and teasing. Now, if you think Majira was doing this for his ego or his career, you're wrong. Dude has 200k subs, sure, but his content and public persona aren't crafted around a desire for attention, but rather a love for the craft. He volunteers at cons, he lifts up other creators, and he has made a very positive impact on the fandom as a whole. Many argue that he should have declined the offer in the first place. Here's why that's a bad idea. If H3 wants a furry on the podcast, they're gonna get a furry on the podcast. They are massive creators, and there is no doubt that there are thousands of furries who would leap at that opportunity if Majira hadn't accepted it. Some, I feel, would do a good job. Telephone, Ace of Hearts Fox, Nas Hyena, for example. But there are very few people in the fandom who would do a good job. There are very few people in the fandom who I believe are qualified to be representatives, wittingly or unwittingly, on the H3 podcast. But inevitably, they also would have faced the same bullshit that Majira did. And as I said, thousands of furries would have leapt at this opportunity. A vast majority of whom would have been unprepared. Now, gee, what was the last time a random furry leapt into a media Shark Tank unprepared?
Okay. All right. So now we have 3 couples here, and they all say that their sex lives are completely normal. And one of the couples are furries, meaning that they have sex dressed in animal costumes.
Oh yeah. That's not good. The second to last thing I'd want is for some random furry to act as our representative on a platform that is likely not going to be too kind to us. The last thing that I would want is for some furry like Jasonifex or Cothrix representing us. What I'm getting at is that in a weird way, Majira was taking one for the team. Better him than someone absolutely unqualified. He should cancel, you cry from the depths of 1,000 Twitter replies. Congrats! Oh my god, you got what you wanted. I didn't think you were, holy shit. The internet is amazing. I evidently did not have enough time to script, film, edit, and publish a video from the moment Majira announced his appearance to justify why we shouldn't be bullying him for this before he'd cancel. I was going to argue that this would accomplish nothing. It would be a PR mess, it would make us look terrible, and it would rob us of what could have been a fantastic opportunity. But it would have been terrible, you say. Again, from Twitter replies. Majira is not an idiot. He's not. He is a professional YouTuber. If you think he'd have gone into that podcast and let himself look like a clown, you're underestimating him. No matter how much you may hate Ethan Klein, or be jealous of Majira, or think this was some plot to advance his career, the fact remains, this situation is bad. Him canceling is bad. We should call out people like Jasonifex, Kiro, Fox, because they are toxic and they argue their positions in bad faith. And we should call out people like Ethan and Lacey Green when they do or say something stupid. And it is valid to worry about the aforementioned problems. Exposure to a toxic audience, potentially facing ridicule, etc., etc. Except the whole jealousy thing, that's not cool. But we shouldn't be tearing down Majira. To act as though this will bring about the destruction of the fandom and that he is the sole orchestrator of its destruction is absurd. It's just absurd. No, he's not. At the end of the day, Majira was taking one for the team, and we treated him like shit. This community treated him like shit. I respect and understand his decision to cancel, and I respect and understand the concerns people had about H3 operating in bad faith, having a not-so-sterling history themselves. But I do not respect harassment. The harassment that he got online was just fucking appropriate, and it was not okay. And honestly, we as a fandom should really not be happy about this. So yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. If you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm a growing YouTuber. I'm a growing boy, and I could definitely use your subscription. Please, please. Share this video if you liked what I had to say, or if you hate what I had to say. I don't know. And yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Try to spread positivity. Fucking Christ, it's hard. And yeah, see you whenever I make another video, which I hope will be soon, because I've been lazy as hell. Not gonna lie. It's been a hard semester. Bye-bye.
They've got control over most low to mid-level bureaucratic structures, and many governments as well.